happy Wednesday. Welcome to Crew Talk, brought to you by Shoots.video. I'm your host for this evening, Sarah Marintz, and today I have with me Vita and Howie. Hi, guys. Thank you for being here.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. Before we dive into everything and introductions, I just wanted to let everyone who's tuning in know if you have a question during the panel, just shoot your question in the Q&A box and we absolutely will get to it.
Shoots Video is a place for creatives to showcase their work and be seen by producers, marketing managers, corporate executives, and other future clients. Add your reel to Shoots Video today.
But yeah, Vita, you're first on my screen here. So I'll start with you. Just kind of tell everyone who you are and where you are and just a little bit about what you do.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Great to see you, and thank you for inviting me to the webcast today. My name is Vita Karelkova. I'm Director of Marketing at Filmustage. Originally, I'm from Belarus, but at the moment, I'm located in Ukraine now. Our company is based in the United States, and it's our obviously focus market, and we are planning to grow our office there. What I do is at the Filmustage, I help them grow the business using all the marketing tools that I know. And I have very interesting background and experience. My background lies in affiliate marketing. I was working for many years with different kind of partnership and project management. I was working as a mentor, and I have like a linguistic background as well. I'm passionate about the film industry, and that's why I'm a part of Filmustage team at the moment.
Well, wonderful. We are very glad to have you with us today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And Howie, I will move on to you.
Sure. Hi, Vita. Hi, Sarah. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me. And hello to everyone out there. My name's Howie Zales. I'm a retired camera operator. I spent 25 years traveling with NBC Sports and the World Wrestling Entertainment, shooting sports and entertainment around the world. And simultaneous to that, I have a company, HJZ Productions, where we provide television crew for sports and entertainment events. And then we also have another company, VES, Veridity Entertainment Services, where we do live stream events, hybrid events, in-person meetings, corporate, all types of corporate live streams. And I also have a course and a book on how to get into the television sports industry.
Oh, cool. Well, we'll definitely dive into the book a little bit later. So I have my list of questions here as always. And Vita, I'm going to start with you. For people who just don't know, can you just really dive into Filmustage and what it is and what it can offer people?
Okay, actually, Filmustage is a startup that offers an innovative platform for filmmakers with an intention to help them produce masterpieces with less efforts. They focus so that all the filmmakers can focus on art component, leaving all the boring routine with our tool. We offer artificial intelligence supported script breakdown and scheduling, and breakdown summaries that can be exported in Movie Magic, PDF, and spreadsheets. Natural language processing we use is our own technology developed by Filmustage team, and we're really proud to be a very innovative company. If you have ever done script manual breakdown, you know how much time this process may consume, because you have to go through everything and check which of the elements you need for the production process, and which of the stacks, for example, props, locations, everything, what departments are involved in all the production process. You would then make breakdown sheet that lists all the different elements for each scene, so that every department can keep track of those things, as most probably you will be shooting out of order. So it's basically what we are doing at the moment.
Very cool. It sounds very high tech how it all works.
Yeah, it's very high tech.
And you said it's a startup. And so how old is the company? And are you guys a big team?
Not actually. We're not a very big team. We have around 10 employees at the moment. And yes, it's startup. We're around 2 years old.
Okay. And how did it start? Who had the idea and what kind of sparked that?
Okay, how we actually answering this question, I would like to tell to everyone just a bit more about our co-founders. And the company was founded, as I said, like 2 years ago. And it was founded by 3 enthusiastic and very talented individuals. They knew each other since university time, and all of them have technical background. That is why our company is so innovative, and we have like enough knowledge to create something absolutely new in the industry. The idea of the product itself was offered by Yegor Dubrovsky. He had been working in the film industry for 9 years before he started to work on Filmustage web application. And he was working with such companies before as Uber, TikTok, or gaming, and the United Nations. How the idea itself came to his mind is an extremely interesting story, because it began with an unlucky accident in the United States of America that led to like a cool startup that helps a huge number of filmmakers around the globe. And everything started with a journey in 2017. At that time, he was like excited about everything that is connected with film industry, and he was full of energy to like learn and open new horizons and learn more from the filmmakers. Thus, with his friends, Igor founded his own production studio, Nota Kitchen. As a part of the production process, they went to Los Angeles to shoot a film, backstages, gain experience and connections and the industry to understand it better. As was expected, he made a lot of friends, and that helped a lot us to move forward and to develop our startup in the future. Visiting his friend in San Francisco, they decided to go to the jazz club, just have a rest after all this shooting experience. But they left all the valuable equipment and like documents, everything, money in the boot of the car. And when the evening came to an end, they unexpectedly found that the car has been broken into, and everything was stolen, all the like precious equipment, all the backpack with all the documents, money, everything he had at that moment. And this was like this was the story of how he lost everything in the United States. But as you know, when one door closes, another one opens to you, right? So he missed his flight home and called to the Belarusian consulate. It took a couple of days just to restore all the documents. But the problem was that it was a hurricane season in the United States, and they couldn't deliver his documents on time. So Yegor got stuck in the United States for 3 months and had to find the way to survive. So he had a few options, but at the time he had a few friends working in the film industry. So he was able to find a job in the filmmaking industry, and he was shooting pilots for Netflix and Amazon at the time. It was exactly what he was good at, and there he started to ask how actually filmmakers do script breakdown, and it turned out that everything just connected with script was done analogously with paper and pen. And it was something absolutely incredible, because Igor didn't understand why in an era of like modern technology, smart solutions, when we use iPhones, TikTok, all this social media, filmmakers are still working with paper and pen in their hands. And spending a lot of time with filmmakers, he returned back home and decided that he needed to use and implement artificial intelligence technology in the filmmakers' day-to-day routine. Thus, he would like to simplify their lives and to let them focus on more creative part of their work. So he shared his ideas with team of friends, and other two co-founders, Andrei Korolkov and Ruslan Hamidurin, are both very experienced software developers with relevant experience. Actually, he was working on products for the film industry as well, but they were working on a product that combined like virtual reality with real shooting. So they found this idea very exciting, and they decided to join Yegor in his startup. And that's actually how our company started a few years ago, and they started to work on the product.
Wow. I mean, it's like an unfortunate start, to
Yeah.
everything that you have stolen and then be stuck in another country for 3 months. But I guess it kind of worked out in the end because now he has his company.
Yes, exactly. All the unexpected situations in our life can lead to like unexpected end. Absolutely.
Turning
Everything is for the
lemonade.
best. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm going to flip it now over to Howie. And Howie, obviously the pandemic has affected pretty much every industry, and I'm sure yours as well. And I was wondering kind of how has broadcasting and just live stream events, how have they changed over the past year, almost 2 years?
Yeah, they changed significantly. 2 years ago, the TV industry was barely even using live stream as a way to get content out there. March 11th, 2020 is when our business and most of the sports and entertainment business shut down. And, everyone needed to still get their content out there. And this technology, the live stream technology was about 5 years down the road. It wasn't really being used. And overnight, it was just adopted and born, and all these companies started using different methods as a way to get their content out there. And our company developed a workflow to help our clients distribute and get their content out.
Wow. So I know you said it was kind of like overnight, but how quickly did you have to move to kind of get used to or adapt to the new normal that was COVID? That is COVID.
Yeah, good question. I think it was June of 2020. Being Jewish, I talked to the rabbi at the temple, and I said, you're not going to be able to do the holiday services the way we've done them in the past with people in the temple. We're going to need to, and I had already started researching live streaming and the internet and networking and things like that. I said, I came up with a plan. I said, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to buy, and I'll put it all together. And as we're in the temple in like late August, putting all the cameras, installing all the cameras and the equipment that we purchased together, thinking there's got to be a way to monetize this. How can I do this? And no sooner did my phone ring and then a client said, listen, we have a huge problem. We need to interview 9 Major League Baseball players in 9 separate cities, but the interviewer cannot leave her house. Can you do that? I said, absolutely. I hung up the phone. I said to my wife, this is what he just asked. I said yes, and I don't have a freaking clue how we're going to do it.
But you said yes, and so you had to figure it out. And so I'm guessing, like, how long did it take you to figure that out? I mean, were you just like sleepless nights?
So I called my good friend, and we chatted for a while, and we came up with these, we call them our remote capture kits. And it's a high-end gaming laptop with a camera and a USB professional microphone, and we send that with Ethernet cables, 2 ring lights. And the beauty of it is it's our equipment. So when it arrives at the location, the person just sets up the laptop and puts the camera on top of the screen. And because it's ours, we can dial into the computer, focus the camera, change the white balance, the color temperature, manipulate the audio settings. And then we have an intercom built into the computer where we can talk to the person in their ear without disturbing their microphone. So it's a way to get our contributors into our productions.
That's crazy. So you didn't have to go anywhere into any of these players' homes. You could just send your kit that you created. And is that something you already had set, or is that something you kind of put together for this?
No, we kind of dreamt it up and put it together and researched the best camera to buy, the best microphone to buy, and the best laptop. And then we would send it with in like a big in a porta brace case with 2 ring lights, so they'd have sufficient lighting, 100-foot Ethernet cable so they can reach their router, because you never really want to be connected on Wi-Fi when you're doing something like this. And we just kind of went from there, and 1 kit became 5 kits, became 25 kits. And
that was my next question, is how many kits do you have now?
25 kits. And we have the ability to log into each one of these wherever they are in the world. And we send a QR code. So the person just needs to, you know, hit the camera on their phone, and it gives them the setup instructions. And it's so super easy. The computer comes labeled. You know, the microphone gets plugged in here, the camera gets plugged in here. And as soon as it hits the internet, I get a notification in my system that computer is online, and then I can dial into the computer and take full control.
Were you so nervous the first time you were doing this, like with those players, where you're like, oh my God, this has got to work?
And we're still nervous, because especially when we tech check someone for the first time, if their internet, our biggest battle is the internet, internet speeds.
Wow. So I'm hoping that the answer is yes, but did everything go super well the first time you did it?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. And so from that, then do you reach out to companies and say, hey, I have this, like we can do this? Or did it just come to you?
Yeah, no, we reached out and started selling that this is what we could have the ability to do. And we have the ability to record within the computer locally too. So we've done on-site interviews where we record in our cloud, and then we record locally on the computer as well.
And you can do all of that from your house.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
The dream. That's the best. My next question for you is, how relevant are quality live streams to corporate interviews and meetings?
I mean, it's super relevant, because the days of big corporate meetings where people are coming, globally to one spot are completely over. You may have a team of people gathering in one location, but it's going to be streamed all over the world. So people do not need to leave their homes or their home offices, and they're more productive because they don't have to travel. They can get work done in between sessions. They have the same experience because of all the breakout rooms and the networking that goes on. And these companies are still getting their message across for a third of the price, because there's no travel involved.
Wow, that's brilliant. Well, that's a cool story too. You guys both have great stories about how it all started. Vita, so can you talk to me a little bit about like the software, like the actual software? You said it's AI, I guess, that kind of does the script breakdown and everything.
Okay. Can you please repeat your question one more time?
Sure. Yeah. Would you be able to kind of talk a little bit more about the like the program, like the software? I don't even know if I'm using the right terminology, about how the script breakdown works from the site.
Okay, I can actually share my screen and show you how it works.
Perfect.
And after that, I can tell a bit more about how our clients benefit from Filmustage and what professions are mainly using our software at the moment.
Perfect.
Okay, I start sharing my screen at the moment. Okay. Where is it? Oh, okay, share. Do you see my screen at the moment?
Yes.
Right now? Okay. Just 1 second. Okay, so it's how like Filmustage looks like. When you register, it's where you actually may create your real project. How to create it, I will show you here, but I will use the one already uploaded to the system. So to create a project, you need to upload a file of your script and add any description you need for your project. It takes around 1-2 minutes to make automatic script breakdown, so it's pretty quickly. You can just take a cup of coffee while you're waiting, but it takes a really insignificant amount of time. So here I open the project that I already have here. You may see how it looks like. We have here like script breakdown already tagged by our artificial intelligence neural network. And you may see all the tags that were already added by the system. Obviously, as we're not intended to like substitute any profession in the film industry, this script breakdown may be not perfect. And obviously that we cannot meet all the needs of production. So at times you may need to add something, for example, extra. For these purposes, we added custom tags so that our customers can add some things themselves. For example, here we see one of the kids. Obviously that it will be something like a cast, but as we are talking about kids, so we will need to have something on the set who will take care of these like young actors. So we will add something like new category name. Let's name it like set teacher and create new category. So we have it already tagged. You can check it out here, set teacher. And we as well have like default tags in the list. So you may also choose from this list as well. If you can't find something and you need something specific, you can add custom tags. As you already have all this script broken down, you may find here like a breakdown summary with all the cast information, with cast itself, with props, costumes, sounds, locations, everything that was like, you may find it by each and everything. And you will have like a full list of everything you need for production. You can export this summary in like a PDF file, Movie Magic, or spreadsheet. If we're talking about script itself, it may be like about 200 pages, for example. You can download it in PDF file as well. Okay, when we finish with our script breakdown, here you have as well one of the features that we added, it's notes. So when you have your script, you may leave here any notes per scene. If you need to like add some useful information for any of the like departments, you can also add it here. One of the features that we are planning to implement in the nearest future is to add notes for text, as it's required by many specialists in the filmmaking industry. Another feature that we have at the moment is scheduling. Here you may see all the strips, all the scenes that were like recognized by our system. So interior, exterior, all the colors, they have like a logical explanation. You can add estimation in hours. You can add any locations you need, like for example, I don't know, like Los Angeles. Create something like that. Everything you need, you can add here manually. As well, you can sort all the strips by scene number, by scene setting, pages, estimation, location, interior and exterior as you wish. For example, we can now like sort by estimation. After that, we can, for example, add automatically day breaks. It depends on how often you would like to add them. For example, we can add them like that and they will just appear on my screen. You can export all this information to Movie Magic spreadsheet or PDF. As well, if, for example, you decided that some scene you do not need and you decided not to shoot it, you can just add it to the boneyard. And at the same time, you can, for example, I will remove setting at the moment, like, for example, I'll remove it at all. Okay, so I, for example, may change the order how I prefer to shoot my film. In this case, I can just move the strip. For example, I decided to shoot first like 13 and after that the second one. So I can change the order, or we have, for example, another options. I can move it like that. So just adding the scene number here and moving some software, for example, like that. So it's basically how it's working. So it's very simple at the moment. It's easy to use. And I think that everyone can use it because it do not require any special knowledge. At the same time, we're available to help anyone if they have questions, for example, with expert, or they have questions how to add something. So our help center is always available. At the moment, if probably you have some questions for now.
So I don't know, what is Movie Magic, or where you can export it? What is that program called?
Oh, okay. We have like a Movie Magic format. It's one of the most used formats in the industry. And it's used a lot by filmmakers. That is why it was added, so that they have no need to convert it in the other formats. They can simply export the script, and after that continue working in Movie Magic.
Okay. And so are there tags that come standard on it, like cast, props, location, or do you add all of them yourself? Like, is it a custom thing? You can just do it from start to finish?
When you upload the script itself, all the cast, props, locations, you can see it already tagged by our artificial intelligence system. So it was already tagged. All the scripts that you uploaded, it's already tagged. Okay, of course, for example, our system can make a mistake. Or for example, in some cases, let's imagine clone can be a prop, or it could be like a costume or something like that. So it depends on the needs of your shooting. So in this case, you may change, for example, if you review everything that we provided by our software, and you find some kind of mistake, for example, or some kind of tag that do not fit the requirements of your shooting, you may change it. For example, here, close on Arthur's clone face. Clone face, obviously, here is not a prop. So you can simply change it to, for example, costumes or makeup.
Okay.
That's how it's working. So we have no intention to substitute anyone. And our software was created to simplify the work of filmmakers. And what we do is we help not to spend too much time on script breakdown. Because when you have, for example, a huge script for feature film, you need to spend hours and days to make a breakdown summary for each and every department. You need to make script breakdown manually, creating all the text and tag line by line all the text according to your needs. So it just saves you a lot of time. It's how it's basically working.
That's really cool. And so is it a membership? Would you pay monthly for a membership, or is it a one-time use? How does that work?
As a rule, we are working with subscriptions. So you're paying monthly depending on your needs, because we have bigger packages for someone who's working a lot with text and need to break down a huge amount of scripts all the time. We have smaller packages for someone who need to use our software from time to time. We as well have special packages for huge studios that may require special integrations and some special conditions. For example, some studios do not like to see here our logo. They would like to see their own. And in this case, we can communicate with them and create special conditions for bigger partners. Anyway, all the time we have some kind of discounts and probably Black Fridays for our clients, so that they can save some money on subscriptions. And we are happy to offer them better conditions. And that's basically how we are working.
That's pretty cool. I enjoyed seeing how it all works there. That's really neat. So you kind of showed us how it works and everything. Are there any features that are coming up, or that'll be released this year for the site?
Okay, let me tell first a bit more about how different specialists are using our software. And after that, I will just probably tell a bit more about what we are planning to implement in the nearest future. Okay, for example, as you may see, basically what we do, we speed up all the pre-production process. You spend less time. At times, for example, especially for studios, they save money as well, and they can make a job like faster and more effectively. Thus, we have our client with automatic breakdowns. We save a few days, for example, as I previously said, for first ADs. Our software is frequently used to make temporary schedules for an upcoming movies. And directors need a guide for actors' timing and where to film scenes right now. They can't wait, for example, for days to create like a more sophisticated and more complete schedule, and we can do it quickly for them. At times, our clients need to prove a budget for investors and need like a schedule to do that. It could be rough timing for days for actors' costs, for example, as well. Our software is used by script writers, for example, to evaluate the script as a whole and to see it at to see the full picture, so that they're able to evaluate. Maybe they need to remove something, so add something extra. Our software is used by producers and studios. They use it to like evaluate the full budget quickly, and obviously for studios it may be used by different like specialists, so it's like you save a lot of money for them as well. VFX specialists can evaluate the amount of work needed by scene and as well for a whole upcoming project. So actually, the main value we create is we provide like, we can make their work more effective, save time, save money, and help to make like different kind of evaluation on the different steps of pre-production process. It's what we are actually doing. What we are planning for the nearest future. For the upcoming year, we have like 3 main product lines. We are constantly working to improve our artificial intelligence script breakdown technology. As we developed it ourselves, we're responsible for our technology and responsible for the quality we provide to our customers. So we are like improving it constantly. Recently, we have added custom tags that I already showed you. Now our clients can create the custom categories. They use them if the breakdown provided by a natural network does not meet their requirements. A next step is, of course, to add custom categories editing, so that, for example, if they created the categories they do not need anymore, or they want to correct something, they can just remove it. As well as I already mentioned, one more feature that we are planning to add very soon, it will be custom notes for text. It's one of the critical features and we are working on it now. Speaking about more global projects that we are planning, it's inspiration board page, so that our customers can visualize the ideas. We are planning to make an integration with 3D, 2D asset libraries and audio libraries, so that they may find solutions for their shooting on the pre-production step already. And when first AD thinking about where to shoot better, some kind of what location to choose, what props to choose, they may find solution already on these steps. In plans, we have as well integration with locations, props, and cast libraries. It may help our users to find everything in one place and inspire them to create their masterpieces more effectively.
It's kind of like
it's actually it's what we are focused on at the moment, but we are always welcome your feedback. We're always welcome ideas from the filmmakers, because we understand that the filmmaking industry as well evaluate a lot of new directions appeal, like the VFX, for example, that is very developed at the moment. We see a lot of films in production, and we understand that it's a huge industry at the moment. That's it.
Well, thank you for showing us the demo of how it works. That's really, really cool. Howie,
Happy to show.
thanks. Howie, I'm going to throw it back to you. And my next question is about how previous generations grew up watching TV and just how has that changed today?
It's changed tremendously. I mean, my kids don't even watch TV. They watch their iPads and iPhones, and that, when we were kids, you'd have to wait till the summer to watch a rerun of your favorite show. Now it's just DVR'd or YouTubed or whatever. Our kids don't even watch regular TV shows. They just watch YouTube all day. So it's changed completely.
It's crazy. You can watch an entire season or multiple seasons of a show in a weekend, whereas you'd have to wait like years for it to come out every week. It's so.
My son watched Cobra Kai in like 5 hours.
That's wild. I mean, it's cool when you want to like just over the weekend binge an entire series. But yeah, it is, I guess, very different from years ago. I guess it's relatively new, the whole streaming, and hasn't been around for that long. But yeah, that is crazy. You always see the kids attached to their phones and watching something. Yeah. So this question kind of ties back to what we talked about earlier, how with the pandemic, you kind of had to like get in gear quickly and, create your kits you were sending out. And why do you think you should always trust your gut instinct in business? Like, you have this idea and you're like, okay, I'm going to go for it. Why do you think that's important?
Because for me, every time I, ask myself, should I do this or not? And I listen to what, my gut says, it never steers me wrong. And it always leads to success. And in this case with this business, my first business, HJZ Productions, was asked to hire all the production people for the graduation at West Point during the pandemic in June of 2020. And we hired the director and the producer, and the director said, I need to have my technical director on the show. I got to have my person. And the technical director is the one that pushes the buttons when the director says, take camera 1, take camera 2, and so on. And the phone number he gave me for this guy was 818. And to me, that meant California. But for my company, I had, 40 to 100 people sitting at home for the last 3 months not working. I wanted to use my people. Mm-hmm. And so something in my gut said, just go with what Patrick wants, call his guy. And Jamie turned out to be one of my closest friends now and business associate. And I owe a lot of my live stream knowledge to him. And it helped take my business to the next level.
So you're kind of running two businesses. So you had your business pre-pandemic, and now you have the streaming. Is it like competition, or is it just like you're just running both?
Running both. I have someone that runs each of the business side of each business, and sometimes they work together, or sometimes they work completely apart, depending on the event.
Pretty cool. Vita, did you kind of trust your gut to go with a startup? I mean, what exactly were you doing before you were at Filmustage that made you were like, okay, I'm going to leave and work with this company now?
Okay. As I previously said, I have around 5 years in marketing. And previously I was working at the university. I was a professor of Portuguese language for a few years. After that, I was working a few years in affiliate marketing and partnerships in different companies. I started in gambling. After that, I switched to financial institutions, and I continued working there. So actually, I was working with affiliate marketing, different kind of partnerships. At times, it was as well project management. And I came to Filmustage a few months ago, so I continue here.
So you have some experience in a lot of different areas.
Yes, actually, previously I was working as well as a translator of Portuguese languages. I worked a few months in Africa as a translator, so it was a very interesting experience as well. And I usually working with different people, and probably that is why I'm so open-minded and happy to meet different people and to find new industries, new information, absolutely like different ideas. And it's something that inspires me a lot. And I was always passionate about film industry. I'm like a film lover. I like to watch movies, and it's something I'm absolutely passionate about. And I like to find interesting angles and some kind of solutions. And I like to see how my favorite actors evaluate through their career and how they look like in different films. It's something amazing, and I'm happy to be a part of it at the moment.
It is nice to be doing something that you love, and when many different passions can come together, it makes it feel less like work every day, I guess.
Yeah, it feels like that.
Howie, are you doing what you always dreamed you would do and what you kind of set out to do in the beginning?
Absolutely. I thought I was going to play professional baseball, but in 11th grade, I knew I needed to fall back, and I saw an elective that said, a trip to 30 Rock, which is NBC Studios, a tour, and to see a TV show being taped. And I'm like, how bad could that course be, And I fell in love with TV and my love with sports. I knew right away that's what I was going to do.
So, baseball fan, was it MLB you said was the interviews you had to quickly set up? So that had to be for you, right?
Yeah. And not too long ago, I was at Yankee Stadium with WWE, but we were interviewing, one of our wrestlers was interviewing Reggie Jackson, and I was behind the camera. And, I went to the World Series when Reggie Jackson hit 3 home runs, and growing up as a Yankee fan, I'm like sitting with the camera. I'm standing with the camera on my shoulder, but I'm like peeking out of the viewfinder. I'm just like, oh my God, that's Reggie Jackson.
You're having like a fangirl moment.
Yeah.
Well, did you at least get like a picture or an autograph or something?
No, I should have.
Stayed professional. You
tried to stay professional.
Yeah. That's so cool. That's a really cool experience, and it kind of all ties them together, baseball and then what you're doing now. Wow. Well, I think we've kind of covered a lot, and we saw the demo and we learned about streaming. Is there anything else you guys want to mention before we wrap up? Yes, no, maybe.
I'm good.
No, I guess.
Okay, well, at the end of each show, we always just take a second, and you guys can say, again, like who you are, where people can find you, and if you have anything to promote or want people to know, now's your time. And Vita, we'll start with you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, it was nice to meet you today, all of you. If you want to find us, you can just Google filmustage.com. Try our software. Write us feedback. We will be happy to hear from all the people involved in the film industry. If you're an indie studio or a huge one, if you're like an independent filmmaker, producer, or you're just interested in the technology, just give us a feedback. Write to our email, hello@filmustage.com. You may find it at the website. At the same time, you may find my profile on Shoots Video. And write to me directly. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer. If you want to be our partner or you would like to integrate with us, we as well will be glad to see you and to have a talk.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to us.
Thank you, Sarah.
Howie, you want to drop the Instagram or the website, anything like that?
Sure. You can reach me at howiezales.com. All of our websites, my podcast about the television industry are all there, and at Howie Zales on Instagram and at Howard Zales on LinkedIn.
And we totally forgot to get to it. You said you wrote a book about the industry.
Oh, yeah. We have a course and a book about how to get into the television sports industry. There's really no training ground for what we do, and so I decided to start a course and wrote a book on how to do it. And we just train new people on how to get into the business and to help them accelerate their careers. And you can find all of that on your website, howiezales.com. Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you both. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And for everybody else, thank you for joining. I'm Sarah Marintz. You can find me at sarahmarintz.com or Sarah Marintz on Instagram. And I will see you all next time. Thanks, guys.
You might be looking at Shoot Stop Video and thinking, so how does this all work? Is this about A, setting up the whole crew for me, B, just giving me options and having me handle it, or C, something in between? Well, it's D, all of the above. To put it simply, we're here to help you in any way that we can to get the crew and talent you need for your next production. We believe that every level of video production can benefit from a well-maintained list of qualified crew members for every position. This goes for pre-pro, on-set, and for post. Every project is different, so if you need a producer to help manage the decision-making process, then we can totally do that. If you're already a producer and want to build your own crew from scratch, then go for it. We're here to make your next production a success. And if you are crew or talent looking for producers that want you, then you've come to the right place. Sign up now, and also leave a referral for any solid people that you know that are already on here. Thank you for considering Shoot Stop Video, and happy shooting!